took $21 million and divided it by 200 inmates, you could pay them $100,000 each just to leave. I found this on NBC News a short while ago. Check it out. Pentagon spent at least $21 million on flights to Guantanamo, which currently holds only 32 migrants. $21 million they've spent on flights taking migrants, or people that they think are illegal migrants, to Guantanamo Bay. And there's only 32 of them. 32 migrants have cost $21 million, guys. I mean, where is the Department of Government Efficiency when you fucking need them? Like, how? How is that efficient? What kind of problem are you trying to solve when it costs you $21 million to fly a half-empty First Great Western carriage worth of migrants to Guantanamo Bay for that fucking amount of money? 21 million. I mean, the thing about this is like, if you bring this back down to the base level racism, which it seeks to placate a policy like this, right? Because that's all it comes down to, is they want to fly illegal migrants, or people they think are illegal migrants. They want to fly them off to some foreign isolated jail, Guantanamo Bay, or, you know, if you believe Trump last week, maybe Alcatraz. Because people in the Bible Belt and the Rust Belt, people who feel like America has let them down, they really love the idea of scrounging goddamn illegal immigrants draining the system, being rounded up, stuffed on a plane, and then trapped on some sort of like little island jail. They like that. They like the cruelty of it. But if you pan out a bit and you play with this idea that these illegal immigrants are draining the system, you know, through their, I don't know, doctor's appointments, or maybe they're using up housing, they're renting apartments, and so there's a crunch on the supply chain, and now it costs you and your kids more to rent an apartment. If it's something like that, they're using up resources, they're draining the system. If that was actually your concern as a MAGA Heartlands Republican, wouldn't you be at least slightly concerned that it has cost $21 million to send these people out to an offshore jail, and that is $21 million that could have been spent improving the system, like giving it a little bit more wiggle room so it can take a little bit more of a drain on the public finances? Like, wouldn't you at least be curious about that money? Pentagon spent at least $21 million on flights to Guantanamo. I mean, I suppose if they'd waited a few months, then they could have used Trump's new golden jet from Qatar, couldn't they? You got to think it through. Don't rush into these policies, man. You never know what's coming around the corner. A golden 747 could fly them there for free. It says the Trump administration spent at least $21 million transporting migrants to Guantanamo Bay on military aircraft between, I can't do the accent, between January the 20th and April the 8th. According to figures provided by Congress by the U.S. military. The naval base there currently holds 32 migrants, according to a defense official, a tiny fraction of the 30,000 that President Donald Trump had promised. Guantanamo has held a total of just under 500 migrants since Trump announced the effort in January, and it has never held more than 200 at any one time. Many of the migrants flown there are believed to have been flown back to the United States now. I mean, this is the thing about this sort of policy. Is like, what was it, $21 million? $21 million, right? If the goal here is to rid the United States of people who they perceive to be ne'er-do-wells, right? Illegal migrants gaming the system, draining the system. If the goal is to get rid of them, to eject them from the United States, you could take that $21 million and you could divide it by, what was it, like the peak? The peak that they've ever had at Guantanamo Bay is 200, right? 200. So let's assume that like last week or sometime in the last 6 weeks, there has been 200. There haven't been. There's no way it's been 200 there. But at its peak at Guantanamo, it was 200. So let's assume it is 200. If you took $21 million and divided it by 200 inmates, you could pay them $100,000 each just to leave. Just to leave the United States. And you know what? They'd take it. Like if I was a person of color in America now against the backdrop of Trumpism, of Trump 2.0, with the news footage of people being rounded up and kidnapped on the street by masked ICE agents, if a government official came knocking on my door and said, yeah, look, I got a check here for $100,000 and all you have to do is leave the US. Honestly, I would take it. I would chew off your fucking arm for that. I'd go on a round the world cruise.
Just another